live here. Welcome to my friend, with Daddy Porter, and
Me, Doug Ziegler?
yes,
Yeah, man. How's it
you
going?
decided to join me after missing a few. Cheers!
Yeah, sorry, man. Work calls.
Cheers!
Cheers, man. What you drinking?
Um, this is one that our guests should maybe be familiar with.
Fingernails.
Jackson Jr. It's a IPA, from Ale Asylum. They have what is it? Satisfaction Jackson is their double IPA. So what
I
they
love
did
that
was
name,
make a
Satisfaction.
regular IPA by, I guess, taking some heat off the double one.
Yeah. Instead of Action Jackson, Satisfaction Jackson. I like that. Thank you, Joe.
That's a good one. What do you got there? Because normally I will be on to the guests already, but I heard about what you got, so we need to talk about that before we can.
Yeah, so this is a North Brewery. This is their cookie porter. They just came out with this. It's a porter's only 6%.
Cookie porter?
What's that? Cookie. So I did not take any notes, so I'm gonna look it up and figure out what the hell's in it.
Wait, though. You bought a cookie porter for the cookie lady.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm smart like that, Greg. I look dumb, but I'm pretty smart.
awesome. I didn't even. It's funny though, because you stopped me early in the pre-production with the cookie thing, and I was like, whoa, we got to talk. Let's click live for that. But I didn't understand that it was a cook. You did that on purpose, man.
I'm all about themes, Greg. You know this.
You know what? I need to be worried. You're going to take over the show.
No, are you crazy? I can't book anybody, and you're like, "Hey, man, I got us booked out through August," and I'm like, "Oh shit."
No, but man, that was really good. So, tell us about the cookie porter quick, and then we'll talk to the cookie lady.
So, it actually has more like a graham cracker taste than a cookie taste. It's definitely sweet. It's got. I have to look up to see what the ingredients are because it's definitely lactose in there, but it's got it. It's very, not much in the roast department, so it doesn't give you that porter roastiness that I like. It's more sweet, so definitely different.
You think I would like it?
Let me take another sip.
Okay.
All right, there is some roastiness on the back end. Not much. If you want that roastiness from porter, probably not your jam.
Okay, but if I want a cookie porter, that's what I got.
Yeah, and that's what they advertise is what I got. So,
what brewery is that with the cookie porter?
That's the North Brewery that I took you to when you were here.
Oh, cheers to North.
I'm trying to give them. I bought a 4-pack of their milk stout, which I'm going to have one of those on the show tomorrow. Did
you have to go directly to the brewery for that, or did you the pickup? Okay.
They have a pickup, and what they have is it's curbside, but what their curbside is, before everything happened, they had like a garage door that they would roll up so they could have like fresh air in their place. So they just have a place right there. All the stuff's marked off for social distancing stuff. They have all the cleaners there. And everybody wears masks. It's pretty sweet setup. I mean, you don't get them to put it in your trunk, but everything is, as clean as they can get it from that perspective. And they're in the middle of a very busy city street. Right. So it's not like you can just pull up to the curb and they'll be like, "Hey, man," just because you can always park in front of their place. So.
Right. Well, excellent. And they will be the one brewery around there that would do a cookie porter too. They do some weird, crazy shit.
Yeah, because they do some weird shit. So that's why.
Yeah, they do. So, without further ado, let's bring on the cookie lady.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey, Vicki.
I want that cookie porter.
Cheers. Yeah. What's up, Doug? Tell her.
So the thing is I was telling Greg, it's not roasty, not super roasty like you want from a porter normally, but it's sweet, but it definitely tastes like a cookie.
Nice.
So the only thing is right now they aren't canning that. They're just made it into growlers or crowlers. So I'd have to shipping a crowler might be a little challenging.
So it's interesting. When I do obviously I'm a beer blogger, and when I do my meet my friends most of them are beer related or beer people or people I
Beer
found
adjacent.
or even dads. So Vicki, I'm glad you came on. But what I don't think a lot of people understand is that we found ourselves through beer.
We did.
And then you became the mass cookie lady you are. And so it's good. So let's start with craft beer. Where did your love of craft beer start? Because I love to say craft beer you have to find it, and you had to find it, it didn't find you.
Yeah.
So where'd you start?
So it started when I moved to Wisconsin. We might talk about this later. I have a connection with Doug. I grew up in upstate New York, and I moved to Wisconsin, gosh, probably 8 years ago now. And it was craft beer week, my first craft beer week, and I wasn't working yet. I didn't really have much to do, so I got the craft beer week brochure and I was looking through it and picked a couple events to go to. And I ended up at Dexter's, which great beer bar, but I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know what I was walking into. And
Very cool bar.
yeah, very cool bar. And I had New Glarus Belgian Red. And I drank that beer and I said, beer can be amazing. I don't understand. Like, no shame till a Bat Blue Light, but that's what I used to drink in upstate New York, and that's just what I thought all beer was. And I started drinking New Glarus beers, and that flipped the switch for me, and I was like, all right, I got to explore this.
Excellent. And we met on a trip.
We met on the Hophead bus to Water's anniversary.
Thank you, Justin and Robin, I believe.
Yeah.
Those guys were doing that. I know Justin Schmidt was I think our guide, and we ended up meeting at Oso Brew house up in what is that? Glover.
Yeah.
Glover, and we met in a little tight little area there on the trip. So that was excellent, and we just stayed in touch from there.
Yeah, it was a great memory, actually, if you don't mind me sharing, of when we met. I remember Matt, my husband, and I were sitting at a table, and Greg came over and sat with us, and we ordered, and I ordered a stout, as I always do, and my husband ordered, I don't remember what, an IPA or something, and they brought it to the table, and every single time, I'm always given whatever beer is lighter in color. I always order the dark beer. I always get the light beer handed to me. So that kind of sparked the conversation. And I remember you saying, there are no isms in beer, and I will not, you're like, I won't accept any sexism, racism. There's no isms in my beer. And I was like, yeah.
And I thought we were friends from, it really just fell from down there. We were just like, chemistry was going. I met your husband. It was just a good time for sure.
Yeah, it was a good trip.
Yeah, and I wonder if has that gotten any better over the years?
The anniversary party?
No, you and Matt going out for a beer, you getting the stout, him getting the cream lager or whatever.
Yeah. It really depends on the place. If you're going to a beer bar, I think most places are better about it now. It will happen in a restaurant 100% of the time, but I think in beer bars they are getting a little bit better, so that's good.
Absolutely. So well, I have to announce though, since we talked about the cookies, Vicki and I are sponsoring a cookie giveaway tonight. All you have to do is comment on any of our threads and we will see it, and you will be randomly entered to win these wonderful great hops cookies.
That's awesome.
I've never had. But Vicki has made
that you can eat.
Yes, Vicki. I haven't had these cookies per se, but I've had Vicki's cookies because Vicki made a personal order for our family with some choice words on them.
It's fun.
They were amazing. I don't have a picture of them, but I'll just let you know, Vicki, that's a thing that the lady in the house still it's a thing that she still loves. She still goes back to it, talks about it. It's just something that she really, really enjoyed, and you helped to do that, so it's cool.
Awesome. Not very often you get to put 2 swears on one cookie.
Right. So I'm not familiar with Dawn. Hi, Dawn. But Dawn loves the hops cookies.
I know Dawn.
Dark beer with ginger snap cookies. And that's good. Victor says, hello, what's up, fellas?
Yeah.
Let's see. Dawn has a question. Vicki, this is one I'm sure close to your heart.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely bummed about the great taste of the Midwest. I mean, obviously, I understand and think it's the right thing to do, but man, that's such a fun day. It's a bummer. And it's the day where, you're just walking around and you run into 30 people you know. I always run into you there. Greg's shirt that he's wearing, I have the same shirt, and one year we posed together in the shirt.
And rainbows everywhere is great. Right. Cookies and beers together means more steps. Not sure, Tony. What are you talking about? Vicky's cookies are the best, Don says. Yep. Awesome. And Alex says, Don click is
I was just going to say, it looks like they're trying to stack the contest there.
That's fine. Hey, man, look at these cookies. I will want them too.
Yeah.
So those will be delivered to your house as contactless as we can possibly do it. Right. So when I met you at the Oso bar, at the Oso thing, were you into the cookies then? Where did the cookie thing come out of, Vicki?
Yeah, so I've been decorating cookies as a hobby for probably 10 years. I learned to decorate cakes as something to do, and I made some cookies for a baby shower, and I was like, oh, I like this a lot more. So I just was kind of playing around with it, and I had friends that were always encouraging me to do it and giving me challenges, saying things like, can you make me sea otters dressed as pirates? I'm like, yeah, I can. It's still one of my cookies. So, it just kind of started as a hobby. And then I moved to Madison, and I think 3 years ago now, 2.5, 3 years ago now, it became legal to be a home bakery in Madison. So that Halloween is when I kind of opened up shop and got going, and did it while I was working full time. And then just this past November transition, and this is my full-time gig now.
So you were doing this like, so you don't have like a brick and mortar. You're doing this out of your home. This is your job, but you're cooking everything in your house.
Yep.
And before that, they wouldn't allow that. That was like a law.
Yeah, it was illegal in Wisconsin to bake out of your home.
Don't get it from Wisconsin laws. Do not do the wrong day for that.
I was like, wow.
But no, I went through this with Vicki too, Doug, where it was like she was talking about that, and I was like, are you serious? Like, you can't. And I don't know, Vicki. Doug, I told you had the next one. Or I'm sorry, but Vicki, didn't you have to do some legislative work, and didn't you push the issue, or what was going on in that area?
Yeah, so there was all kinds of pushing for legislation, and they called it the cookie bill going in front of the state Senate. So I went to the Capitol and testified in front of the Small Business Committee about how important it is to, in a business like this, get started and really test the waters and see if you have a business that could be successful and grow. And being able to start out of your home really gives you that opportunity to test and see if it's a business that would work. And I'm kind of at the point right now where I'm cranking out, Easter week, I think I did 1,400 cookies. So, I'm at the point now where it's like, I gotta figure out my next steps. And that's a great problem to have. But, if I wasn't able to start doing this at home, I wouldn't have been able to grow this way.
So how many ovens do you have?
3.
3. Okay. I was going to say, if you had one oven and you had to pump out 1,400 cookies, that'd be madness.
I don't think I could do it.
She used to before she got a new house, Doug.
Yeah.
Was that part of the new house? You guys built your house, right?
We did, yeah. And we built it knowing that I had this little cookie business, so I do have a lot of storage. I've got the 3 ovens, but it's like, man, I'm outgrowing it already.
And part of I'm not sure, Doug. I'm not sure if you how long you came into the Vicki's cookie realm, or how late you came in. But part of what Vicki does, which I loved, and she knows I loved it because I was screaming at her about it, was that Vicki goes to these cookie conferences, like we go to dad conferences.
No
And
kidding.
I literally, like, all due respect to Vicki, I saw with my eyes her cookies like go up as she went to these conferences. Like, I mean, again, we all start off very rough. And I don't know if you know this, Doug, but I just posted the first 3 episodes of our Friday show. I'm up on the YouTube, and
Oh man.
so now when Vicki started off, Vicki was way more refined than when we started off. But you can see though, you can see in the details of these cookies here.
Yeah, I've seen her stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, she's taken it from like really nice and really cool, and don't get me wrong, impressive, to like, holy shit, that's a cookie.
Don't let me fool you though. You don't see the cookies that I made 12 years ago when I first started. They were
right. But when I first
somewhere, right?
Right. But when you first went professional, when I first saw them, I was again impressed by them, and they were really, really good. But now, as I said, everybody, her website's down there. Like, if you just don't believe me, just go there and look at the detail on these cookies, and it's just like, man, I can just see how you grew professionally by being around better cookie people. Basically, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but that's something that I really love to talk about. As far as any kind of industry, anything you want to do good, go to one of these conferences. I go to the Beer Now conference, and again, these people have inspired me to do what I'm doing now. I wouldn't be doing it now if it wasn't for them, and a lot of these people are helping me because they're coming on my show talking to me, and they're making me more comfortable. So I don't know if you want to talk about that whole experience.
Yeah, 100%. You got to find your people, So I've been to, I think, 3 or 4 cookie cons, and people are like, really? There's something called Cookie Con? But, I think the last one I went to was in,
I want to go.
And there are 900 people there, 900 cookie decorators. So, you spend your time in classes with people that just can teach you so many things and make you so much more efficient and share their knowledge, and just being around your people. These people are just as crazy as me, and they stay up till 3 and 4 in the morning decorating cookies and don't get tired of it. So it's just good to, be around people that share your passion and share maybe your frustrations and your challenges, and you can help each other through those things. So it's really cool to find your community. And I think no matter what your craft or your occupation or your dreams are, you should always learn. Always, always, always. There's always something to learn. If I ever get to the point where I say, I don't need to learn anymore, I'm great at this, I might as well hang up my oven mitts. There's always something to learn from other people.
Oh, look at these.
Yeah.
Man.
Doug, you got the website. That's what I'm seeing here.
Right.
So when did you figure out that you were gonna shift from your whatever you were doing before this to actually, all right, this is my gig now, I'm doing this, yeah. I'm gonna go full steam ahead, let's do it? And obviously you have a lot of support from your husband, and that's really important for those kind of things. So when did you figure out, all right, this is when I'm doing it, I'm going to do this?
That's a really good question. And it was a really tough year, I'll tell you that. It just got to the point where, I was working full time and my job required some travel. And as my business grew, I found I was working 2 full-time jobs, and I was getting tired and I was getting burned out. And I think it was right after Halloween, not last year, the year before. So it took me a year to make the transition, but right after Halloween, I had worked so many days, nights, weekends, getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep. I remember talking to my husband and saying, when's the right time, right? Because this is a decision we have to make together, because I need health insurance. I need support. I need to make sure that our budget can survive on the pay cut I would take to go and make cookies. And he said, I think maybe in a year and a half. And I just started bawling, because I was like, I can't keep up this pace, for that long. I just can't. I'm getting burned out. But then I sat down and made a plan for myself. And I said, what's it going to take for me to feel confident in stepping away from my job and into doing cookies full time? And for me, it was, I need to get through a full year and really make sure that there's income there, the whole year, and that I really can trust myself to take this step. So it's funny that by the time I sat down and made my own plan, I was on the exact same timeline as what my husband said. So it's funny that it worked that way. And it was the psychological change. Like once I put a date on it, even though it was a year out, I was okay with working that hard and that many hours because I knew when the end was going to be. So, you know, I had to build it up, and I didn't want to take a jump or a leap. I wanted to take a step, you know, so I wanted the transition to be easy. So I worked really hard for a year and was able to do it. So.
Excellent. So time for some comments. I pulled this one up because Daniel's waiting for someone to comment on the Jordan cookies. Probably Doug.
Very topical right now. But those a few years ago. Those are older.
So great. Yeah, they look fantastic. Alex says 1,400. Do your hands fall off after that? All that piping.
I want to for sure. I just for my birthday, I got a hand massager, and it kind of looks like you're sticking your hand in a George Foreman grill, but that thing.
Like you're like this, like how does that work?
It literally looks like a George Foreman grill. Like it's this little machine you put your hand in, and it's got compression in it, so it just kind of like moves it all around. If anybody that works with their hands, I recommend it.
Interesting. So Tony clarifies his comment. It was too many calories. He has to get his steps in. Okay, wait.
That's fair.
We got that. My friend Darren says, "I love when a passion becomes a business."
Awesome.
He knows because his side gig is barbecue.
Oh,
so
awesome.
He can relate to you as far as that goes. He has a side gig barbecue. He was on about 2 weeks ago talking about that. So that was that's cool. Paul says, "I love cookies. I don't have a question." And you're just entering, Paul. We got that. Excellent.
That's a good comment, though.
That is a good comment. Allo says the cookies look delicious. You are correct.
And even got a cookie emoticons. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Is that worth 2 entries?
Maybe. That's up to you. You're the one doing
it. Yeah. Who doesn't love cookies? Tony says, "Yep, you're great at cookies."
Thanks, Tony.
Yep. And Daniel says it's important to have support when making that leap for sure. It seems like you had your husband's support, but that wasn't enough. Obviously respectfully to him, but you're like, no, I need to make sure I got me over here. We are all good. So that's great.
My mama raised me to not need someone to take care of me, and I've always been kind of fiercely independent. So it was really hard for me to think about the what ifs. You know, what if I have to ask my husband for money to make my car payment? That just doesn't sit well with me. So that was a struggle too. So I had to make sure I was good.
Mm-hmm.
But he does help me in other ways too, like folding all my boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sure. And Doug, I said you got next, but one little comment I want to jump on that is that Vicki does crowdsource, meaning there are times where Vicki used to, before the pandemic, used to make call outs and say, "Hey guys, anybody get coming? There's a glass of wine for you here. If you help me, put some cookies together." Or even I was even trying to help you maybe man one of your marketplaces. So Vicki is not shy about crowdfunding and asking for people's help, and I admire that in you too, because a lot of sometimes it can clearly get overwhelming. 1,400 cookies in a weekend, lady. Come on now.
Yep. And that was all Matt, because that was during the pandemic. So I usually have people I can call in to help me with stuff, and I couldn't.
Right. Oh, Doug.
So yeah. Let's say folks would want to order cookies from you, but they aren't in Wisconsin or Madison area. Can they order them, and can you ship them?
I can only ship within Wisconsin under the cottage law. With the giveaway, I'm able to ship that anywhere, obviously, since you're not buying them. But yeah, unfortunately, normally I'm only allowed to ship within the state of Wisconsin. I'm going
to give you the symbol my wife just gave me from the couch. She was like, "Boo! I want cookies." She said she wants pirate otters.
There's nothing saying we can't do a trade where I just and you send me some of that cookie porter when it's canned or bottled.
That can be arranged.
There we go. There we go.
Like we haven't shipped beer to each other before.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that? Because
you were talking about, like, you and I had in the beer group were talking just about like Southern Tier beers because that's a favorite of both of ours. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm getting this, and you're like, well, I can't get that, so you shipped me some stuff from Wisconsin that I obviously can't get, Blair stuff and things like that. And it was an easy trade. So I was like, what do you like? What does Matt like? And like, let's send some stuff that way. And the Postal Service doesn't know that we did that, but that's okay.
That's right. It happens every day, though.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, I'm sure more nefarious things than beer get sent along.
That's right. Yeah, I've been noticing recently, I can't find Southern Tier beer here much anymore. Really? I mean, specifically like the creme brulee, any of those stouts. I'm really having a hard time finding them.
Did you have any of the nitro? They had a whole nitro series this year. Did you get any of those?
I did have the nitro creme brulee, I think.
Yeah, I sent Greg it was the hot chocolate, I think. Was it the hot cocoa?
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. Unfortunately, I can find that anymore, but they've been they ventured into seltzer now, so they have some seltzers that they put out, and which lots of breweries are doing that because it's a popular thing. It's a good money maker. And they've been kind of getting into some of the locale stuff, like Greg and I have talked with other guests where they're doing more of the low ABV or even like not the no ABV. I don't think they've done any of that where they do like the hop water stuff, but but I can always send you stuff if there's something you want from Southern Tier or any of the other things too. And
best beer I had from them was the salted caramel stout. And I found it once, and I've never found it again.
I will give you another one that's a salted caramel that surprised the hell out of me how good it was. It was a salted caramel porter from Genesee.
I think you sent me that, or one of my other friends from New York sent me that, and it was amazing.
It's because Genesee did this thing, Greg. Genesee is kind of known for their shitty 12-wort.
Oh, I know what they're known for.
Cream ale and all that really shitty, cheap stuff. And they have a division that just does craft brew. And it's just like they did that and a couple other things that I was just like, wow. And they had a Scotch ale that was quite good, which surprised me as well. But that salted caramel porter is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently I'll be sending some of that to you guys. So Mocha is good too. You are right, Alex. That is a good one too.
And everybody loves creme brulee, right?
I think that's kind of like, is that their flagship outside of Pumpkin?
I would think so.
Saranac caramel porter?
That was actually the one that I was thinking of, not Genesee. I was thinking of Saranac. A friend sent that to me, and that was awesome.
Yeah, that's Kevin McKeever saying that. And Saranac's caramel porter is decent, but the Genesee one's better.
Oh, okay. All right.
Although Kevin and I do not see eye to eye on many beers.
That's a good thing, damn it. Who cares, right?
Yeah, who cares? Drink what you like. Who gives a shit?
Right. I'm having this lovely, well, I wouldn't call it lovely, but it's pretty good. Armageddon. You've had this a gazillion times, I'm sure, Vicki, right?
Yep.
$6 a six-pack. Can't go wrong.
Amazing.
During the pandemic, for sure. So I was talking before. What is your libation of choice during the pandemic?
So I know this is like a terrible thing to say to your beer community, but I've actually during pandemic I've drank more wine than beer because for me the experience is very different. Beer is like I'm gonna go party and drink a beer. It kind of gets me ramped up and ready to go. Whereas wine is like, you're relaxed. Everything's fine. It's fine. You're going to be okay. So I've been drinking more wine than beer.
There's nothing wrong with that. We've, like our brothers in Boucher, we've had people do wine, people do bourbon. Like just to us, it's not really, you drink what you like and it might be stuff we don't care for, but like for instance with wine's the only thing that gives me headaches, so I don't drink a lot of it. But if it puts you in the right state of mind that makes you happy, awesome.
And I drink the cheap stuff too. Cheap wine. No shame.
Spoons?
And not barefoot.
Barefoot is a step above spoons, though.
Big bottles.
Doug, does your, it sounded really all nice and everything you just said, Doug, but does that apply to, I'm sorry, wrong one. Does that apply to seltzers?
Yeah, I don't care. I think if you like seltzer, like there's friends of in a couple of beer groups I talk in, and some of them are really into seltzer, and because it's like a lot of low calorie stuff, and it's more like, oh, I can drink that and I don't feel guilty because of calories. Give me all the calories. I don't care.
I argue the case for seltzer that it is the perfect hot tub drink.
Okay.
And you know what? I've seen a lot of people say.
Okay, so now we have a new category, Doug, because we have
shower beer.
We have the king of the shower beer right here. King of the shower beer. Where is he? King of the shower beer right there. Yeah. Spotlight. King of the shower beer. And now we have hot tub beers, Vicki?
Hot tub beer.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dig into this, because this wasn't in our pre-production at all. I had no idea
this is great. This is what's so fun about it.
So what distinguishes, because Vicki, I don't know if you know, Doug and I kind of go back and forth on the shower beer because I've never had
a shower beer.
Don't understand. Not that I don't understand it. I just never been in a position to do it. How about that? So every time Doug's like, I had a shower beer, I'm like, what kind was it? What's the style? What was the situation? You know what I mean? Like, so what is the style for a hot tub? Like, can it just be any beer, or is it like, what is it? Let's hear it.
So I guess I'll even create further categories that there's probably summer hot tub beers and winter hot tub beers. But in general, after 5 minutes in the hot tub, you get really warm. So you want something really light and refreshing. So that's why I argue that seltzer is the best hot tub drink. In the winter, we have a setup where our hot tub is inside, but we have a glass garage door that we can lift up. So in the winter, you lift up that garage door and it gets nice and cold on the patio, and then you can have a nice toasty stout in the hot tub.
Okay, so it's more about the temperature outside?
Yeah.
Well, think about it, Greg. If you're going to be, let's say you're going to be mowing the grass and it's fucking 90 degrees outside, are you going to want to drink like a dark, heavy stout when you're done, or are you going to drink something nice and light? Right. I would imagine it's the same for the hot tub.
Yep, same thing.
Okay. So because we're counterweighting the heat from the hot tub, we need something like, because we're not gonna. Right. I follow you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'm jealous that you have a hot tub and a pool.
Like tropical drink feel too, So you're in the hot tub and you're drinking like a mango drink, so you feel like you're on vacation. I don't know.
Right. Right. So we have more comments here. Seltzers are icky.
Try it in a hot tub. You might change your mind.
Hey, can you donate a hot tub so I can try that?
I love icky. That's a good Paul.
Word. It doesn't get used enough.
That was a good word. Right. I'm still on the. I don't. Not that I'm on the fence, but I drink whatever you want. I'm down with that for sure. So I'm weather warming up, hitting the gin.
Gin is a good choice.
Only with the tonic. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe I need to get higher end gin.
It depends. It depends on the gin. But yeah, gin and tonics are definitely better for summer for me. Is that something that you do at all, Vicki?
No, I've never been a gin fan.
So when summer comes around, is it just the seltzers, or what is it that you go to when it's warm?
Usually lighter beers. I don't drink a whole lot of liquor. I did just learn to be a whiskey and bourbon fan when my husband and I went to Ireland and Scotland. September. So I learned to kind of dip my toe there, but I don't drink a whole lot of liquor.
You said the right word with Doug. Scotland.
It's amazing.
Scotch, baby. That's why I do Scotch full of years as like my writing thing. So yeah, Joel and I went to Scotland and Ireland for a honeymoon. So like, that's an experience that like we were. For Mother's Day, I bought her a bottle of Scotch, and we were drinking it, and it's like all this peatiness, and it's just like, man, we need to go back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We did a full day tour with a private driver who drove us around Scotland, and we went to, I think, 4 different distilleries. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It depends. Was there a region you were in? A specific region?
I don't remember. I don't even remember the city, honestly, but we went to Macallan.
Okay.
It's like, that's the one, the name brand one that I know. It's embarrassing that I can't tell you where it was. But.
No, I guess it is a little, but like, come on, you're in Scotland drinking Scotch. Who cares what the cities are? You got a driver. Your husband's there. Who cares about any? Right.
I care.
Well, I'll look it up and I'll let you know.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Like you said, did you drive there as well? Like meaning like when you were.
Matt drove, I did not.
All right, so I drove, and the first day I almost killed my wife and I because I went the wrong way and almost ran into a bus that was going like 50 miles an hour.
Not a good story.
And after that, it was fine. Like it's weird driving there because when you're driving on the opposite side of the road, did you guys have a stick shift?
Yes, that's why I didn't drive.
That's the weirdest part because you're shifting with the opposite hand, but the clutch and the pedals are all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're shifting with.
So, like, if you're driving, you're shifting with your left hand.
No.
All the pedals are what you are on the other side of the car.
No.
But I'm going to tell you, Greg, once you get the hang of it and you drive in, like, specifically Scotland, it's like driving in the Grand Prix there. Like, the roads are only a car length and a half. So, like, you are driving, like, you're just all through all these. It's great.
Wow, that's cool. You shifted really fast because I was like, you know what? I don't care what it costs. I want to do what Vicki did. Like, that's part of the whole cost. Is like, stick my ass in the back, somebody drive me, hit up the pubs and the distilleries, and just somehow, hopefully, I can get up to where I'm going to sleep.
Right. Hey, just a side note. The first 3 nights Joel and I stayed in Scotland, we stayed in a caravan.
Really?
Which was great, except we're both 6 feet tall. And the caravan was like you sleep. So the caravans are just these little tiny freaking things.
It's a gypsy Vardo.
It's a gypsy Vardo. So it's like a gypsy thing that you sleep in. And you sleep out in a slat that comes out, but they're made for like people that are 5 feet tall.
Oh.
We were just like curled up like shrimp on trying to sleep, but it was great. They were really
Did you have a top sheet? Forget it. Anyway.
There was.
You knew, right? You knew I was going to say that shit. Anyway, Tony says always this out. I guess he's referring to even in the hot tub.
Hey, man. To each their own.
Somebody says that's why I do whiskey cold in cold weather and gin in warm weather. Really?
Yeah, that's Kevin.
Really, though, Kevin?
I agree with him there because like gin for me is
a warmer
drink,
and whiskey's a warmer. Is that
whiskey? There's a warmness that it gives you when you drink it. That is
more
like a winter style thing. Depending on the whiskey too, because some of your whiskeys, if you drink like the lighter stuff like Dalwhinnie, that stuff is almost like a spring style whiskey to me because it's not peaty or smoky.
Gotcha. Daniel seems to recall enjoying a couple Blanche de Chamblay by the hot tub. What the?
Yeah, Daniel, please explain that comment because that is like I have no idea what that means.
Oh, is it like it sounds like a wine, right? Anyway, he'll get back to us.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. All right, so Vicki, let's get back to you. Sorry, we kind of went on tangents there.
Oh, that was fun.
So, with this, so it's been a few years. Oh, Unibrow, they make all like the Blanche de Chamblay. That's like La Fin du Monde and all those kind of beers.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So, with this endeavor now with the cookies, so is it something where you envision yourself having a storefront, or are you going to have to just continue to do it out of your home?
I'm trying to decide. I'm kind of at that point right now where I've grown to the point that I can grow from my home. I'm working every night, every weekend, so many hours to get this done. And I have to figure out what the path is for me next. I was teaching classes, obviously before stay at home. And I really loved doing that. So I want to do more of that once I can. But I don't know. The thing about cookies is that it takes so long. It's so time consuming that I can't imagine spending all of that time outside of my house. At least while I'm doing it at home, we set up our house so that my decorating station is kind of looking right at Matt in the living room so I can watch TV with him even though I'm working. So I'm not sure. I'm mulling that over what the next step is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then you get into the realm of, if I'm going to open a storefront, do I need employees to help me with the demand? And then that means employees. And employees, you got to pay them. It means, do you give them insurance?
Yep.
There's a lot of different pieces to that puzzle.
Yeah. It's scary. So to be determined.
Yeah. I don't have much more for you, Vicki. I just want to say again, kudos and congratulations, and it's really fun to see. It's fun to see my friends evolve, and you're definitely one who, again, I met you in a space over here, and now you're over here, and we're still hanging out. But it's just it's really nice to see people evolve. How about that?
Yeah, that's awesome. I miss being able to be as involved in your beer group as I used to be too.
Yes, you were a moderator forever. Before. It doesn't really take much moderating in a group because everybody's great, and generally speaking, friends only add friends. Mm-hmm. But there's a little accountability there because only people generally know. You either know me or my friend, or Vicki knows, Vicki's friend knows Vicki and she knows me. Mm-hmm. So that's why the beer group is really easy to moderate. Now, I don't know if you know, Vicki Doug is a moderator now.
Hey, congrats.
And Daniel Fish is a moderator too. I haven't announced that, but we added him. And he's going to have something for all of us actually soon. He wants to give away some beer. Somebody worthy in our group. I guess now I'm saying it. And he asked us about if anybody was worthy, meaning somebody who's maybe out in their luck or not available to have beer during the pandemic, and or someone who's on the front lines. And I'm not sure we have either one, but if anybody knows anybody in a group that fits any of those, I was also going to suggest now a group that I do know is people who live with frontline workers. We definitely know a couple of those people who their wives or husbands work in hospitals, or hell, I don't even care. Supermarkets, meat packing plants, nursing homes, bus drivers, anything that has to see people, anytime, gas station attendants. If it was a case, teacher,
grocery store workers, literally anybody who's brewery workers, the essential workers.
Yes, all of them. So if you open it up to that, I know we got a lot of people.
Well, that's the thing is, we should say let's have some folks who would nominate. Hey, who can you think of that deserves this? And
yes, group mate. So I'll talk to Daniel. We'll he'll put out a post tomorrow or something. And I guess we'll ask for people for nominations, and then Daniel wants to give away some nice New York City beers. So that's cool, and spreading the love, and I think we need all that. And that was the idea too of our cookie giveaway, was to spread the love. And I don't know, I want to showcase the cookies because I think I'm not that I'm more proud of your cookies than you are. I feel that I am. I feel not that you're not proud of your cookies, but I'm like, I love Vicki's cookies. And the lady of the house is even more of a screamer about your cookies. So we just all love it. And you're a great person and a fun lady, and we love you.
Aw, thanks. It's super fun. It's fun to meet you guys.
We're going to have you on again when you're not in the middle of a cookie run, so you can actually drink cookies.
Well, I have 3 dozen to do tonight. It's fine.
I I was, and Vicki, I don't even, so right before we left, like I was trying to, with all due respect, I was trying to get an invite to your house because your house is really nice. Now we got a pool. We got, Vicki set a hot tub with a nice roll up.
You're set up.
They have a pool.
So our pool was opened in September. So we went in it once before we closed it. And now, we're like, yeah, next year we're going to have a bunch of people over. We're going to have pool parties for opening it. And sad trombone, it'll just be me and Matt, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, because you guys moved in and weren't really even like set before you even like you. I don't. Again, we're personal friends and all that, but I don't even know if you had like a homecoming or any of that. Like it seemed like it was really quick where you guys moved in. Cookies things going, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hit. So I'm right about that time frame.
Yeah. So someday we'll have a big party in our backyard. That's we designed our whole house around having outdoor space and space to entertain people and have people over, and now we've got it all ready. And yeah.
Well, thanks, Vicki, for coming on. Doug, do you have anything else for the cookie lady?
No, just you and I will discuss some arrangements for cookies and beer exchanges. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh, I like arrangements.
All right, Vicki. Hey, thanks so much for being on. And we're all really proud of you just for how you're kicking ass with the cookie thing. And good job by you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys, for having me on. It was fun.
And Daniel says you need a cute name for Cookie Palace.
All right. I'll think it over.
We'll mull that over there, Daniel Fisher. All right, Vicki, thank you for coming on.
The cookies are ready to ship tomorrow, so you get me the name and address when you pull the winner, and I'll get them right out for you guys.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Excellent. Bye. Now I want some cookies.
Oh man, so do I. And I'm not a dessert person at all. So like I was like, oh man, look at those fucking cookies. They look great.
Look at these damn cookies, man. I can't go back. What is this? This is these are probably
can we make some LeBron cookies?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
LeBron cookies.
Make you really nice
battle for several weeks now.
So one last one for Vicki here. Alex says, keep up the good work, Vicki. She's backstage. You can see that. Seriously blown away by each cookie, and great job, guys. Big joy to watch. Cheers. Yes, Vicki's cookies are great. I need to put an order in myself, damn it. I didn't even think. All right, Doug. So tomorrow we have a real fun show. We're going to be talking about diversity all day long with April Newby and Tony Two Pint. We'll figure out their names tomorrow, but those are their names on Twitter.
I just like that.
Yeah. Well, again, if you're anywhere in beer Twitter or beer diversity Twitter or Black Twitter, Tony Two Pint. That's all I really need to say, and everybody knows who she is.
Yeah.
She went viral with her a really nice long piece about why that shit that went down with Founders is fucked up, and why it's still fucked up, and why people can't just be taking it like it's nothing. So we're gonna get into all that tomorrow, and then happy American Craft Beer Week. Can't say that enough. We had a great week here. Vicki's Cookies. We had Julia Hurd. We had Ale Sharpton. We had Jim Grolison. We had a great week. Tony Two Pint and Amy. April tomorrow. So I'm gonna have a good weekend. And next week we're gonna do it again there, Doug.
For sure, man.
All right, brother. Anything in wrapping up here?
For sure. All right. Cheers, everyone.
Wrap up. You're good. Oh, is that still the cookie porter?
Dude, that was a crowler. It's 32 ounces.
Okay. No, I'm just. So is it any different that it warmed up?
Yeah. It's not any more roasty. It's actually more sweet now that it's opened up a little bit. So,
gotcha.
I got to say that if it was something that you were looking for a porter, that's probably you would appreciate it for being what it is, but it wouldn't be something you would go back for.
Well, yeah, and it's the North. I expect them to do crazy shit. So
yeah, they do. They
do.
Shit. I really, really do wish I could have sent you that taco beer because that was like the weirdest thing I've ever had in my life.
I don't know if. Yeah, I'm not sure about
that. Having a beer that tastes like a taco was probably the strangest thing I've ever drank in my life.
You know me, man. I'll try anything, but some of the stuff
you
guys want me to try is just a little bit too much. So I'm going to click end broadcast, Doug, and we'll see you tomorrow night, same time.
Same bat channel.
Same bat channel. Cheers.
Cheers.